just is going on, going up. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, but that's on the Zoom, not on the YouTube.
Well, it says live on YouTube. It says on my.
Yeah, and there are people who are watching us live on YouTube. There we are. Okay, your turn.
Okay, and it says that the recording is going, so perfect. As perfect as samsara can be, isn't it? Okay, so we just do the sadhana because, you know, explanations we've had a lot. So voila, and it will last about an hour. And then we have lunch break. And if you want to do another sadhana and then ask your questions, we can do at the end this afternoon. So again, we start because, you know, as they always say, not with that, as they always say, motivation, dedication. It's very important. At the beginning, we need the motivation, know why we are doing this. So we have this beautiful advanced meditation on the graduated path, which I really like. It just reminds us of why we're doing this, so it doesn't become just a game. And then at the end, it's the dedication. So we start with this, just reading it together and possibly, you know, fusing the mind with it so that the mind becomes dharma, so that we, by everything we read, the mind will go like, yeah, this is what I want. If you want it, of course, if you don't want it, then that's another matter. I take refuge in the Holy Guru, the essence of all Buddhas, the original grandeur of all holy teachings and Lord of all supreme beings. Please, O Guru Buddhas, enable me to unify my mind with the Dharma and to succeed in practicing Dharma for receiving the graduated path. May nothing prevent my receiving this path. Please bless me to take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha with all my heart and to practice virtue and abandon non-virtue by realizing that I have received the perfect human rebirth, which is highly meaningful for many reasons, difficult to obtain, but perishable, transient and fragile, decaying in the shortest second because of its changeable nature. Thus, my death is definite, but its actual time is most indefinite. Karma is most profound. Even if 1 hour I create more negative karma, bringing rebirth into lower suffering realms than positive, even the smallest negative action has so many suffering results, and the ability of karma created to bring its results is never lost. Even after more eons than the ordinary mind can imagine, and the sufferings of the 3 lower realms are very unimaginably unbearable. So when we read this, you know, the mind might say, oh no, I'm not creating, I'm alone here now, you know, and nobody's disturbing me, I'm not creating negative karma. Well, the problem is we still have the wrong views of inherent existence. So whatever I see, you know, it creates, if I don't kind of dissolve it, actually it creates another imprint of here is my altar, here is my bed, there is the kitchen, and my, I, me. So, you know, many thoughts that I have, especially when you're alone, they're just concerning about, you know, just concerned about my happiness. So this is why it's good to do these practices, and then the mind opens, widens up a bit. And yeah, so yeah, we're not going around killing, stealing and all this. But when we look at the negativities of the mind, like covetousness and harmful thoughts, which hopefully I don't have, but wrong views, you know, seeing things as inherently existent and taking them for that. So that's why. By practicing in this way, I might be reborn in the upper realms, but I will still have to experience unlimited samsaric suffering because of uncontrolled delusion and karma. Please bestow on me the ability to realize fully the evolution of samsara from uncontrolled rebirth to death and rebirth, so that I shall follow night and day the threefold training of the path, supreme conduct, supreme concentration, and supreme wisdom, the main method to release me from samsara. But as each sentient being has been my mother, and as all are in extreme suffering, please grant me blessings to bring success to all by renouncing the perfect self-happiness of nirvana and practicing the bodhisattva's deeds with bodhicitta, exchanging myself with others, on the basis of the equanimity meditation. Thus I shall have no sorrow in experiencing the samsaric sufferings of all other sentient beings for no matter how long, having trained my mind in the general path. Please grant me blessings to be able to follow the quick Vajrayana teachings by feeling sentient being sufferings very unimaginably unbearable for even the shortest second as my own, and to attain the enlightened state of Aryatara immediately at this very moment by keeping my ordinations and the orders of the Guru with greater and better care than anything else in my life for the sole purpose of enlightening all sentient beings. So you visualize green Tara in the space in front of you. Again, make sure you're sitting comfortably. So if you need to move a little bit so that for the next, let's say, maybe 20 minutes, you can sit still. And we can really concentrate on the purification so that we're not disturbed by pain, molested. And then again, put the thought into our mind. The Buddhas are always there. I just keep forgetting it. And I don't feel them, I don't see them. Because why? Because I'm not a Buddha. So same way as I cannot perceive smells that a dog can smell, these smells are there. But for me, not. So then we just remember all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas are always present. That's their sole reason for existing, because they are Buddhas because of bodhicitta. Because they want to benefit others, so they're not going on a holiday or disappearing. And the Buddha's minds are all pervasive, so they're everywhere, all the time, always with me. And my Buddha nature is always with me. So as an expression of my future result of this practice, or the historical Mother Tara, in the space in front of you appears out of emptiness, a lotus, and on top of it the moon disk. Maybe I'll show you the picture, that might be easier. On top of this moon disk is the green syllable Tam. And out of there, lots of light rays are going out. It's not explicitly in the sadhana, but it's really good to do. So these light rays go out, bringing offerings to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So by just visualizing this, you are making offerings to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Isn't that wonderful? The power of our mind to create merit. Then these light rays come back with the blessings of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Again, sometimes we ask, well, what is this blessing thing? A blessing is like we let our mind be touched by it. We get blessings from all around, or from all the objects around. They influence us. This is what it is. A blessing influences us when our mind is allowing itself to be touched by it. So now you have to picture Aryatara. So maybe, now it's good to work on it yourself also. So then at the time of death, maybe, the mind is used to it, to visualize Tara or another deity you feel close to. And then it comes spontaneously, because at the time of death, our intellect will be more or less finished. So then it's habit, tendencies. So then also the light rays are going out to all sentient beings, transforming them into Aryatara. And the light rays are coming back, sinking into the Tam, and the Tam transforms into green Tara. Her right leg is outstretched, resting on a little lotus in front of her. Left leg is up. So this symbolizes she's with one foot in samsara, the one who is down, the other one was up. Total nirvana has tamed, transformed all her negative energies. Only love, compassion, wisdom remaining uninterruptedly, spontaneously, effortlessly, constantly. A figure made out of light. Right hand is at the right knee. Hand is extended, fingers go downwards, giving us the realizations that we need. Left hand is at her heart, fingers pointing up, thumb and ring finger touching, holding the stem of a blue upala flower. Like here she has one flower on this image. And of course it doesn't have to be exactly with these features. Main thing is it's transparent, it's three-dimensional, it's made out of life, it's alive, having all these qualities. And this being is in the space in front of you, looking at you with her very compassionate, very awake eyes, and only wanting your best, like a mother for her child, never ever having a wish that the child should suffer. Only the best for my child, and not only for now, but forever. So with this kind of attitude, she's looking at us. So we feel seen, heard, understood. She sees the suffering of the world. She sees our suffering. She sees our confusion and she's ready to help. I bless to have perfected conventional bodhicitta, the 6 perfections, and then attain her state. So take refuge again, 2 times in English, 1 time in Tibetan, so you learn it also. If you have a lama, then you can sing it by heart, you know what you're saying. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the accumulation of merits of practicing generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the accumulation of merits of practicing generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye chana soki chanam la chancho bardo dani kyapso chi dani chinsa ki pesanam gi trola penchi sange jupasho. Then we make a decision not to choose who should be happy and who should not be happy. But everybody they have a right to be happy. Everybody has a right to be free from suffering. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that is free from suffering. And may all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from desire for friends and hatred for enemies. 7th limb practice. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. Again, it's an attitude of reverence, respect, devotion, joy. I present every type of offerings, actual and imagined. Be very creative. Don't just say the words, but visualize making these offerings to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Exquisite, of highest quality, not harming the environment at all, but things that please the senses. I declare all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time without guilt, without shame, without judging ourselves, but with compassion, wanting to purify the negative imprints that we have created by doing these negative actions. We have to admit, otherwise nothing will transform. We need courage to look at all these kind of bullshit that we have created. And a strong determination, as much as possible from now on, not to collaborate with the negative emotions anymore. And rejoice in the merit of all holy and ordinary beings. So again, so much good happening in the world also. So many people reconnect, harmonious relationships, helpful to each other, generating a good heart. Please remain until the end of cyclic existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for living beings. We need to request the teachings so that we're open to receive them, otherwise no point. And I dedicate my own merits and those of all others to the great enlightenment. So again, we reaffirm to ourselves why we are doing this, for my liberation and the liberation and awakening of all sentient beings, that I will lead to that state. This ground, anointed with perfumes, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. The objects of my attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, my body, wealth, and enjoyments without any sense of loss, I offer this collection. Please accept it with pleasure and bless me with freedom from the 3 poisons. Nidam Guru Ranna Mandalakam Niryatayami. Then for the purification, make sure you sit comfortably. Being very, also the mind, the mind not being full of guilt and shame, but the mind really wanting to get rid of these tendencies of reacting in an unskillful way. And really knowing what we're letting go of or what we throw in the water. Or kind of, we let sink into the earth. So first, Tara sends powerful, blissful white light from the Om at your brow chakra, which enters your brow chakra, completely fills you. You imagine that all your problems and sufferings and heaviness and grossness of your body are purified by this light, and all the harm you have ever done to any living being with this body in all your infinite past bodies is also purified, eradicated completely, not one atom left. You see these negativities in whatever form feels appropriate for you. Leave your body through your lower doors, sinking into the earth, never to be seen again. Not creating any damage, don't worry. But you really feel that they are going. You let them go. No need to hang on to it. Actions like killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, not just this life, all the previous millions and trillions of lifetimes. And as the body slowly loses its solidity, it gets filled with this white light. You visualize it is filled with this blissful white light, just like Tara's. Nothing gross or concrete, indestructible, just like it will be when we attain the deity's body, the Sambhogakaya. Just visualize, don't worry about it, but I feel it, it's concrete, it's solid. Let go of these kind of views. They're not helpful. You can think like a scientist. If you increase the speed of your neurons, also then the body becomes a light body. It's not from me, somebody said that. Don't know if it's true, but sounds really good. So the impure aggregate of form is purified into the Vairocana family, the Buddha family. And our klesha of anger is transformed into the mirror-like wisdom through this white light. Then Tara sends red light from the at her throat chakra, which purifies all the problems of your speech. Inappropriate speech, useless speech, the inability to express yourself appropriately, all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your speech of this life and in infinite past lives is totally purified, eradicated by the blissful red light that enters your throat chakra. This time the negativities are being kind of swept up. It's a kind of floating on top of this red light. The body fills with red light, very bright red light, and the negativities come out of your nose, ears, and mouth in whatever form you find appropriate, which would represent the negativities of the speech, like lying, harmful or harsh words, dividing people, denigrating them with our speech, and useless talk in whatever form you think that is leaving your body. And we especially think the tendencies to do that are leaving. We feel totally free from it. The body is filled with this red light, and we think we're totally filled with this blissful, perfect, compassionate wisdom, appropriate speech of Lamatara, so that whatever sound you utter is necessarily beneficial to any living being who hears it, all of which is your potential. Then Tara sends powerful beams of dark blue light from the blue hung at her heart chakra, which enters your heart chakra. Imagine that all the unhappiness of your mind, your confusion, arrogance, anger, jealousy, pride, resentment, hurt, anxiety, self-hate, and whatever is all totally purified. That all your delusions, including the root ego grasping, which are the cause of your own suffering, and the why you harm others, is totally eradicated by the powerful blue light, not one atom left. And it's like the negativities don't really go anywhere, or if you want, they're like a concrete ball around your Buddha nature. When the blue light hits it, it shatters it into 1,000 pieces, and they're not really good, they're just dissolving. They're just going nowhere because they don't exist from their own side. Whatever you eat in a dream is not creating caca. So all our negativities, when we think about emptiness, they don't really exist. Conventionally, yes. Ultimately, no. So now everything goes, especially the confusion, wanting the wrong things, running after the wrong things. Instead of, we want happiness, we run after suffering. We don't want suffering, we keep it, we increase it. So I think the body is filled with this blue light. And so we're filled with Tara's wisdom and compassion, finally knowing what to abandon and what to adopt. Of course, you visualize that Tara sends powerful laser beams of yellow light from the yellow sva at her navel chakra, that penetrates your navel chakra, filling you completely. It purifies totally all your hopelessness, powerlessness, inability to act effectively, all the blocked energy. Very often it happens. You know, we have values, we see that they're not being lived, that, you know, there's all this injustice, people not caring about others. We get so angry. We get angry because we feel powerless. And we are powerless. Not even God could do something about this, otherwise he would. Not even the Buddha can just, you know, snap their fingers and everything changes. Not even Tara. Each and every one of us has to do his or her own job to transform the mind. But we can inspire these people by becoming Tara, guiding them. So this yellow light fills our body. And we think we are filled with this power, the ability to act effortlessly, to do what needs to be done with wisdom and compassion for the benefit of all living beings. Not just for ourselves or my family or my friends, my children. All living beings. When you visualize, Tara sends powerful beams of green light from the green heart, secret chakra that penetrates your sexual chakra, filling you completely. Imagine that it totally purifies all your out of control, unhappy attachment energy, all the yearning, the desire, which makes you miserable and unclear and unsatisfied, not one atom left. And it helps us definitely with our jealousy and envy when we look at others who are maybe more successful in whatever they're doing, constantly comparing it with others, instead of just being happy with what we do and just to continue our way. So satisfaction is a good thing, but it's also, you know, we also have to continue. Don't be too easily satisfied. But be satisfied with what you have done until now, and we can always think, okay, next time I do better. So you're filled with this green light, and you think that it totally transforms this unhappy desire energy that makes us feel so poor and always something lacking. Filled with complete bliss, satisfaction, contentment, fulfillment, happiness, and pleasure. Our unpure aggregate of composition factors gets transformed into the Amodasiddhi family. The klesha of envy or jealousy gets transformed into the all-accomplishing wisdom. Because jealousy and envy, it has this energy that we also want to succeed. We're not just sitting there feeling jealous, we want to compete. So the energy of that is good, but we want to succeed, not for ourselves in this case, but for the benefit of others. And we need this energy to do things. But it's not for our own glory. But the energy is there, the push to do something, but the purpose is totally different. Penetrating your 5 chakras, this time feeling that even the subtle stains of all delusions are totally eradicated, not one atom left. So we think like here, now the obstacles to omniscience disappear. The last veils that hinder our potential of being fully awakened. And we already now then become aware we have purified everything. We have gotten rid of everything that prevents us from being a Buddha. So we feel oneness with the energy of Mother Tara. Still in the space in front of us. Our body is filled with green light. And slowly, slowly we take on the features of Arya Tara. Her crown, her other jewels, necklaces, armlets, bracelets, anklets. Her silken clothes, the way she sits, in a very light kind of dancing way. Body totally transparent but distinctive. Alive, being able to move. It's not a statue. Then Tara, you know, she understands that we still don't have enough confidence to be Tara, so she wants to unify with us out of this wish, and she is your guru, comes to your crown, the lotus melts into her, she melts into a small ball of green light which encompasses all her qualities. And that through your crown, through the central channel, absorbs into your heart chakra, where she wakes up our Buddha potential, nourishes it, makes it grow, which is our trust that this is our nature. So we feel totally unified with Tara's mind, the Guru's mind. All is the same thing. So we don't have a separate Tara or a separate Guru in us. We have become Tara. Let go of all the ifs and buts. They're not helpful. So you can maybe go fake it till you make it, but it's the other way around. We are faking to be ordinary, so we have to unfake to be ordinary. Then again, if we still don't trust that we have the power of Arya Tara to be omniscient, having perfect wisdom, love, compassion. We visualize in our heart is a moon disk, on top of it is the green silver thumb, around it the mantra, Untitled Chapter. From there, light rays are going out, again, hooking back all the energy, wisdom, love, compassion of all the Buddhas in the form of light. They reabsorb, they come back, reabsorb into the tongue and the letters of the mantra. And then it's like really sparkling, really bright. And the light first fills our body, and then light cannot be stopped through light. So like the sun, you know, light goes out in all the 10 directions. Because we don't have to visualize all these beings, we just have to think. I am constantly surrounded, relatively speaking, by innumerable sentient beings. This is not some kind of fake visualization. Just think, all the walls, all the houses, all the mountains, all the trees disappear, the earth becomes flat. Then maybe you get a feeling for this. They're always there. Even if they're, you know, if you're top of a mountain, there's birds, there's insects, there is other animals. And even if the next human being is very far away, down in the valley, it doesn't matter, he's still there. We can feel connected to people even if they're not close. I mean, somebody you like very much is in New York. You need to go there to feel that connected. So we visualize, we don't visualize. We understand all these numberless sentient beings are around us. And as we recite the mantra, then you can think of specific people or all sentient beings, and you think the light rays are kind of spontaneously coming out of my body, like spontaneously they come out of a light bulb, and touching each and every sentient being, and immediately as the light is touching them, they transform into Arya Tara. Om tare tu resoa. 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 Just as much as possible, keep the visualization either to individuals or to all sentient beings or certain groups, certain areas, certain regions, especially now, like, Afghanistan, all the other refugees who don't have a place to stay, who are not welcome nowhere, really. Nobody says, oh, wonderful that you come to my country. We don't really want them, isn't it, if we're honest? Because we don't know what it means to be in their place. So now we think we're giving them a place to stay, where they like it, where they feel welcome, where they feel at ease. Or like other things, be very creative, but try to stay with what you're doing. You are Tara, inspiring beings, leading them to a happy state, and also liberating them from their fears. Om tare tu tare tu. Untitled Chapter. Can you think all sentient beings around you have become green Tara, and now from them the lights are coming back, absorbing into your heart, into the syllables of the mantra and into the sealed syllable tongue, and you feel blessed and supported and inspired and having exactly the right tools that you need to attain full awakening. Then again, we make the supplication here so that we're never separated from the Guru. Please, root Guru, glorious and precious, remain upon a lotus at my heart, and looking after me through your great kindness, grant me siddhis of body, speech, and mind. Then before we do the dissolution again, we recite 21 taras. This time we can do in Tibetan. It flows a little bit better when you recite them in Tibetan. So don't worry if it's the first time that you do this, then you go like, oh, it's too difficult. So don't worry, just try to go with the tune, and then when it says on Chetuma Pama Drumala Chasel Chasa German Yuma Pamo Geni Jekilo Dan Drama. So you just say the last few syllables. You go na 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 drama na 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 shelgi na 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 Joma. And as you keep doing this, then you're able to add more and more syllables, and at one point you know them. So this is how one actually trains to be able to chant them. And I think really it's nice to chant them in English, because one gets kind of more an understanding what they are. But I think it's also really good to chant them in Tibetan, because then something with me, I'm just talking about experience, my experience might not be yours. But then something definitely shifts in my mind when I chant them in Tibetan. Okay, we just try, okay? And if not, you can, if you don't want to try, chant them in Tibetan because you think it's ridiculous, it's also fine. Everybody is allowed to have their own opinion. And so you can just read it in English, or since you are at home alone, you can chant them in, you can turn off the volume and you can chant them in English, whatever feels comfortable. On Chetuma Pama Drumala Chaselo Chasa Druman Yuma Pamo Keni Chekilo Dan Chicken Zonge Shuki Shelgi Gesa Chevale Nichuma Chasa Dunkeda Vakuntu Gawe Gani Shepe Shelma Kama Dropa Sopana Ratu Cheva Raparma Chasa Seno Chunekeki Peme Chani Nampagema Chimpansa Tukatu Shiva Sepasante Niyama Chasenda Shinte Petsuto Tayenam Pagewa Maru Paru Chipato Pegewa Seki Shintu Tema Chasetu Tara Omige Dodanchona Nankangama Chiktendu Poshakine Luparme Pargupa Nuema Chasenya Chimela Zampa Lulana Zawandu Chama Chumparu Landisana Nuchita Kintunetama Chasenja Chalampeki Parachupara Tuchama Yaki Yuki Shukine Nepatu Pashintu Barma, Chasedore Chipa Chempo, Tuki Pawanam Pachoma, Shukeshene Done Dense, Javatam Chumanusama, Chasekanta Suchant. Somo chukonam kagyama, marichati kologyam perangiya kichonam chuma, chasera tugavachi pe, ugena kichewa pe, chepara chintutarai, dudang chingdewa nutema, chasesa shiso nektona, danchengo panu panye, Jone Yove Gehuengi, Pompanam Chenam Pajama, Chasena Verdubu, Gen, Kempatan Chintu Barma, Repechuna Pamele, Tapashintu Rate, Chaseke Pena Mameta, Pavechever Nanema, Yaki Yuki Kune Korige, Jai Punina Pachoma, Chasesa Shingala Chaki, Ninginuki Shaginduma, Junedin Seigeon. Nipatu ponam nigema, chasende magema shima, nyanende shincho niyama, so aum ganyanam dempe, dipachem pochumpa niyama, chasekune korakawe, jai punina. Jama Nima Lira Mandara Dambiche Chicken Sona Yawaniyama Chaselai Toinam Perida Tachentananama Tarani Chempeki Tunamani Panisama Chaselai Tonanga Nadamiam Chikitema Kunego Changawa Chiki Tadamilam Nempasama Chatseni Madavage Jenny Paravarapsama, Harani Chatutarai, Shintuda Parimnesama, Tatseneni Sonamka, Shiventunayanandema, Dundarulano Chitona, Chopature Rachoniema, Tavena Kinto Patida, Chasevani Nisusashi. Then we do the dissolution. So again, just make yourselves comfortable that we can dissolve without being disturbed by pain. Voilà. So you think, first you imagine that the entire universe dissolves into empty space. You place the planet, the galaxies, this universe and all beings in it, which we cling to as so real, as existing from its own side, just dissolves into vast empty space, not one atom left. Then you dissolve your body, the basis of this I, the thing we know most, identify with most. You imagine that from your feet up towards your heart chakra and from your crown down towards your heart chakra, it just dissolves. You feel that everything absorbs into your heart chakra. Don't worry, the body exists as a dependent arising. What we're dissolving here is our view of a real existing body that exists separate from our mind. It just dissolves the dualistic thinking. Then you dissolve your thoughts, these elaborate conceptual constructions, all the thoughts of I, which have no basis in reality, which are completely made up, a hallucination. All of it dissolves into empty space, not one atom left, zero. All that is left is your Lama Tara consciousness, very subtle, pure, as vast as space. So you think I am the Dharmakaya, but the I not separate from this Dharmakaya. There's no separate I who has a Dharmakaya. This we have to at least notice. I have dissolved the body. I have dissolved the mind. How come I still have an I hanging there somewhere? So we see our wrong view. That is the first step of getting rid of it. Then you visualize just, the Dharmakaya, vast, spacious. This is my nature. It's kind of open, peace, luminous, whatever other words you might have heard or you might think it is. Well-being, liberated from the slight, not even the word suffering exists. Free. This is what Buddhism can offer you. Freedom from being under the control of wrong views and other kleshas, unhelpful emotions. So you just think that's happening. That's my nature. This is who I am. Wow. So by doing this again and again and again and again, I mean, it's crazy, right? We have to familiarize ourselves with what we really are. So by doing this again and again and again and again, at the time of death, your subtle mind will recognize something and it will maybe be able to stay in that state of clear light. And this will be the ticket out of the quick pass ticket out of samsara. That's why we train like this. And also then when in philosophy, one talks about emptiness, because here one gets almost like a taste of it. And maybe what one understands better what doesn't exist. This, after having dissolved the universe, the body, and all the thoughts, and we still have an I or a me hanging somewhere, then we know what they talk about. What is your object of refutation? Because you got a taste of it, a sensation, an experience. It's not real yet, yeah, it's just a construct again, but at least it's a right construct. To realize emptiness, it has to be directly, not through thoughts. But this is what we do at the beginning, to then drop the thoughts and then get the right experience. But then, because at the beginning of the sadhana, we said we do this in order to attain enlightenment for all sentient beings. If we remain in the Dharmakaya, the truth body, only other Buddhas can perceive us. We have no use to anybody. So, out of this blissful state of being in this emptiness, one arises now in your ordinary form, but again, taking Tara's mind with you. Okay, I'm in an ordinary form, but actually my mind is Tara. With this kind of thoughts, we again become aware of our ordinary body that we have, but making a strong determination. Whoever sees me, hears me, touches me, smells me, thinks about me, talks to me, may it only be of benefit to them. Whatever I do may it only benefit others. Even maybe sometimes you think, oh, that was no benefit. But we don't know what it does to other people. But this should be our attitude. It should benefit all beings. Okay, then we do the dedications. Through the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha, lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the precious body-mind, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra true realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones thus gone of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble bodhisattva's deeds. And then, of course, the long life is not just for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, but is for all teachers teaching the true path to full awakening. That also should come from your heart. Please, please have a long, healthy, stable life. It's such a beneficial attitude for us when we dedicate like this. Try to experience that mind. A mind that without holding anything back wishes the Guru a long, stable, happy, healthy life. And behind it we go, may I always be able to fulfill your holy wishes instantaneously. Which that makes the life of the Gurus long and stable. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chandresic Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Okay, thank you very much. So that was the second time we did the sadhana. We'll do one more time this afternoon. Your side, 3 o'clock. My side, 2 o'clock. Then we just, again, like now, we do the sadhana, and then we do a more extensive dedication prayer at the end. And if you have questions, then you can ask them. Now it's lunchtime. Please enjoy your lunch. Eat your lunch as Tara. So then you have a lot of pleasure, because whatever a Buddha's mind touches, be it sound, smell, taste, touch, it produces bliss in their mind. So and I think, oh, okay, I am Tara, this is nectar, and all beings around me also Tara. I'm just, 2 thoughts, 3 thoughts, a few thoughts. Thank you, Mother Earth, for having produced this food who keeps me alive. Thank you, all the beings, be they human, animal, or insect, who make it possible that these things that I'm putting in my body now can grow, so I can keep alive, make my life really meaningful. And then it doesn't, when you think like this, it doesn't really matter so much what is in your plate. It becomes delicious anyway. Okay? Bye. Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you. Bye-bye.